the depth and breadth of talent in our Conservative Party.
Because you want to prevent a situation whereby that powdery substance will be flushed immediately.
Tell you for a fact that this election is between. They showed form recently for 100 million. There's no meaningful development that can happen without peace, without us being united.
A situation whereby that powdery substance will be flushed immediately.
Good morning to you and thank you so much for joining us on a fresh edition of Straight Talk right here on Bright Television, Home of Talk and Entertainment. Welcome to the program that is designed to look deep into issues that affect Nigeria as a country and Nigerians as citizens. My name is Ayobami Adeyemo. Kindly follow us on all our social media platforms on Instagram and Facebook, and make sure you get your TS TV decoder channel 102 on TS TV Africa. Show content on that platform. Well, let's kick off with some big stories in the media space as we speak right now. Nigerian government has debunked the terror alerts on federal government capital by the foreign embassies. According to the Minister of Information, Alhaji Nai Mohammed, he says that the government is in control of everything as security operatives and agencies are at alert to make sure that lives and properties of citizens and of course foreigners in our country are well secured. And away from that, we'll cross to the United Kingdom, where the United Kingdom do have a new, and of course the youngest in the history, youngest in the past 200 years in the UK history, talking about the Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. Of course, at the age of 42 becomes the first non-white UK Prime Minister, and according to him, he says he is going to tackle the challenges faced by the former Prime Minister Truss, and of course he's going to also confirm and confront the economic crisis that UK is facing right now. Well, in his first speech to the UK citizens and of course to the world at large, he mentioned these particular things among others. But let's look at it. We'll be back to give you more.
Good morning. I've just been to Buckingham Palace and accepted His Majesty the King's invitation to form a government in his name. It is only right to explain why I am standing here as your new Prime Minister. Right now, our country is facing a profound economic crisis. The aftermath of COVID still lingers. Putin's war in Ukraine has destabilized energy markets and supply chains the world over. I want to pay tribute to my predecessor, Liz Truss. She was not wrong to want to improve growth in this country. It is a noble aim. And I admired her restlessness to create change. But some mistakes were made. Not born of ill will or bad intentions. Quite the opposite, in fact. But mistakes nonetheless. And I have been elected as leader of my party and your Prime Minister, in part, to fix them. And that work begins immediately. I will place economic stability and confidence at the heart of this government's agenda. This will mean difficult decisions to come. But you saw me during COVID doing everything I could to protect people and businesses with schemes like furlough. There are always limits, more so now than ever. But I promise you this: I will bring that same compassion to the challenges we face today. The government I lead will not leave the next generation, your children and grandchildren, with a debt to settle that we were too weak to pay ourselves. I will unite our country, not with words, but with action. I will work day in and day out to deliver for you. This government will have integrity, professionalism, and accountability at every level. Trust is earned, and I will earn yours. I will always be grateful to Boris Johnson for his incredible achievements as Prime Minister, and I treasure his warmth and generosity of spirit. And I know he would agree that the mandate my party earned in 2019 is not the sole property of any one individual. It is a mandate that belongs to and unites all of us. And the heart of that mandate is our manifesto. I will deliver on its promise: a stronger NHS, better schools, safer streets, control of our borders, protecting our environment, supporting our armed forces, levelling up and building an economy that embraces the opportunities of Brexit, where businesses invest, innovate, and create jobs. I understand how difficult this moment is. After the billions of pounds it cost us to combat COVID, after all the dislocation that caused, in the midst of a terrible war that must be seen successfully to its conclusions, I fully appreciate how hard things are. And I understand too that I have work to do to restore trust after all that has happened. All I can say is that I am not daunted. I know the high office I have accepted, and I hope to live up to its demands. But when the opportunity to serve comes along, you cannot question the moment, only your willingness. So I stand here before you, ready to lead our country into the future, to put your needs above politics, to reach out and build a government that represents the very best traditions of my party. Together, we can achieve incredible things. We will create a future worthy of the sacrifices so many have made, and fill tomorrow and every day thereafter with hope. Thank you.
All right, for speech from Rishi Sunak, that's the former Treasury Chief, and of course who becomes the next, of course, the new Prime Minister for Britain, and of course in United Kingdom. Well, he took over as the Prime Minister from Liz Truss just barely after some 45 days in office. Well, 45 days of lots of tensions and of course historical event as regards Liz Truss right there. Well, joining us to have some conversations on Nigerian politics and of course what we can actually bring home and learn from those progressive and, of course, a conservative improvement from the United Kingdom, as the case may be. He is an advocate for peace and unity, and of course, he has always been on the program to make sure that Nigeria always gets it right on the show. I'm talking about Comrade Austin Osage. Thank you once again for being on the program.
Thank you for having me long.
I should say, should I say Happy New Month, Happy New Year? It's been long anyway.
Happy New Month.
Well, the month is going to an end anyway. Welcome to the program. Well, you've seen the new Prime Minister, and he mentioned a lot of things. Among those things that he talked about is how he's planning to tackle the crisis, especially the economic crisis the United Kingdom is facing right now. And he also vowed to take 4% of income tax, just to mention a few of what he mentioned. But let's look at his journey so far. How do you describe this particular movement from the United Kingdom?
Well, I will start by saying, yes, there's crisis. Let me start from there crisis in the UK, in the Conservative Party, and well, I'm not surprised even when I see him coming, because you can imagine the last nomination. Then I think it was to come. Probably politics and all that play out, and this time around I think he's lucky. So just quick on what he said. One thing I want to take, or want to attract me, is his ability to readiness. I mean, if you look at what he's saying, unlike our own client, where you see somebody that is not even prepared, probably because for him, I'm sure he's surprised, or he's not even
prepared at the moment.
No, not even prepared. He's prepared. What I mean is, if anybody, I think the whole United Kingdom was surprised for the former Prime Minister, the trust to resign. To resign. She resigning, and immediately, just less than a week, the new person is taking over, and he has highlighted the programs, what he intends to do, just like Liz Truss. I listened to the Liz Truss when he 45 days. What do you call it? 45 days in office. When she came in, she had a plan, and it's on that plan. If you look at his resignation speech, what he was saying is that the plan she has, these are how a reasonable client should look like. A reasonable country, or a progressive, let me put it that way, a progressive country. Right? Can achieve probably in the next 6 months. That she's not the first time the former South Korean president, one of the first about 2 or 3 back South Korean president, did the same thing. Immediately he was elected. 6 months after, he resigned. And what was his reason? His reason was that the first 6-month plan, he couldn't achieve it. He's believing that there's other people in the country, unlike our own client. When somebody is even in the hospital, wants to still continue, somebody that cannot even, somebody on a wheelchair, in Africa, somebody on a wheelchair wants to still continue as a president. So, taking to what the Sunak just said, he said his 2 cardinal plans. One is to, because they are in crisis now, the aftermath
of the COVID-19.
They are even, yes, because they were badly affected by this COVID-19 pandemic. So whether we like it or not, he has seen that during that COVID-19, there are a lot of people at home. Probably they have a budget deficit now, and he said they are going to use some of the tax. That is his own plan. Well, it's part of the Liz Truss plan too. But going forward, she said, well, probably maybe she has issues and all that, probably issues she could not explain. But this one coming in and telling us that, or telling the UK, not even, I'm not from UK, telling them that probably the first a month in my office, I'm going to see how we can take some money, because there are backlogs of wages right now in the UK that is other reasons that's causing this issue they're having. So he has given them a roadmap. Are you getting me now? Which you can see a lot of people now applauding that particular ejector.
So do you see him quit? Probably, I don't know. You know, a lot of people felt they felt disappointed, especially the UK citizens, when Liz Truss actually made that statement that she was going to resign. Do you see him also backing down, probably when these challenges come up again? Do you see him?
Yes, because you know when you look at these people, they are not like us. Just as I said, why am I saying they are not like us is that whether we like it or not, they are conservative people. They believe in their ability to do something. You know, as an average white, not even a British man. If you have been looking at, I've been following them probably since 2011. If you have been following their antecedent and all that, you will discover that they are kind of country that have plans. If somebody should tell you, or somebody will be able to tell you that someone like the former prime minister before Liz Truss, what's his name?
That's
Boris Johnson.
Boris Johnson. Yes.
You know, Boris Johnson will just in that little, you know. So they are kind of people that they believe they have plan. Like, I'm sure, I will not be surprised too, after like 1 or 2 months, if this one come and said, well, he couldn't achieve. But going back through his track record, yesterday I was able to digest what he has been able to do or what he has been able to achieve before now. For him to have had treasury of a whole entire British or in the UK there shows that he knows what to do. And that was why you see that he is channeling his own plans now towards
to combat this particular
because he discovered that, and that is just for any progressive country, for anything to happen, the major problem is treasury. What is the problem in Nigeria today? It's treasury. Because today you can't even say nobody. I don't believe that there's any authority, probably this Minister of Finance in our country today or Director of Budget or anybody can tell you actual amount Nigeria is spending per day or we have. But in this kind of country, they have that statistic, they have that record that, okay, so for someone that have been in that office before and now coming to be the Prime Minister, I'm sure he has an idea. But the idea of probably he might want to, yes, there are some challenges that me and you cannot, as an analyst, you cannot be able to see. But if he can surmount the challenge, I believe he can do better based on his track record.
All right, away from United Kingdom, let's come straight back to Nigeria to see some other, well, it's the season anyway, the political season where many presidential candidates or politicians will be going out to give their own speeches here and there. And just yesterday, well, some candidates from political parties were not present and some were actually present at the Voice for Women, which was held yesterday. Yes, Voice of Women 2022 Conference and Awards, which was held yesterday in Abuja. Those present were the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, and of course the vice presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Shatima, was also present. And some of the things that were mentioned there, according to Peter Obi's promise that women's rights will be promoted, and of course there will be law to back this up. Some other persons present there also called on INEC that 70% of new voters, PWCs and voluntary groups must make sure that these elections is credible. And well, for Shatima, it says not too late to change the Muslim ticket, where not Shatima speaking at this point anyway, but some clerics have said not too late to change that ticket. But let's listen to a few of what they had to say. Shatima was there and he actually came and he said many things, promoted his principle, and Peter Obi was also there to talk about his own plans for Nigeria. When we return, my guest is still in the studio with me. We'll be looking at Nigeria politics and way forward as we prepare for 2023 elections. Stay with us, please.
Tell you for a fact that this election is between.
They sold form recently for 100 million.
There's no
Arrest all unregistered vehicles.
I think we have shown the depth and breadth.
Because you want to prevent a situation whereby that powdering substance will be flushed immediately.
It's my singular honor and privilege to stand before you. Although I am not the prince, the two princes had earlier spoken eloquently, especially the Ebira Prince from Okene. The ultimate measure of assessing any society is the way they treat their women. And there is even a saying amongst the Pante people of Ghana: educate a man, you have educated an individual. Educate a woman, you have educated a nation. And my sisters, the most important thing I want to emphasize is that it's easy to talk, but can we walk the talk? That's the million-dollar question. As I have always said, in 2023, we are not preparing for the Olympics, but an institution that relies. We are not preparing for the Olympics, but an institution that relies on the superiority of ideas and track records to show. And what are our track records? Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was the first governor in Nigeria to appoint a woman as his deputy governor. When he finished his term, his 2 terms as the governor of Lagos State, he was given the opportunity to come to the Senate, but he said, no, I won't come. I would rather send a woman to represent the constituency of Lagos Central, which is the most largest and the most vital of all the senatorial zones in Lagos. These are established track records that you can take us to task on. Why is the first female chief judge in Nigeria hails from? Who appointed the first female chief judge in Nigeria?
What will happen to me at home if I don't go to this one? Let me most sincerely thank you for inviting me and everything. What we are doing, I've heard what you said about your agenda and everything. Nigeria is about to hire the next CEO of Nigeria, of the enterprise called Nigeria. And the only thing we have to sell, and I plead to you, mothers, because what we are going through today as a country, you will not believe it. Our country is collapsing. And you can save it. And you mothers are the ones that will suffer more if it goes wrong. I believe in the women. And I believe that you can save the country. So for me, if anybody is coming to tell you what he's going to do tomorrow, let's start from what he did yesterday. Let's look at his past. Look at where he's coming from. I have served in various ways in the corporate industry. And I want you to go and check my record there. But because of want of time, I want to talk about the way I work with women as governor. That's where we will start. I had a female deputy governor. My chief of staff is a woman. My commissioner for planning is a woman. Commissioner for local government is a woman. Commissioner for education, woman. Accountant general is a woman. Commissioner for finance is a woman. I can go on and tell you how I work with women. And I always say it, they are far more productive than men. When you talk about my success today as a governor, I will attribute it to those women. My head of service, they will not say no to me. You can't do this. Our children are involved. So for me, women are critical in this. If we want to get Nigeria to move, I think we have to surround ourselves with this 50% we are neglecting today. and I'm going to invest in it. They're not going to be there for just ordinary small listen. I know with Ngozi Wala alone, this country would not have been where we are today. That woman was crying to all of us as governors. Let's save the money we have in excess crude. It was saying us there will be a day like this. That if we allow her, but the governors will refuse and share that money. And that is where, look at where we are today. Today now, with all this flood and everything, you won't be surprised that soon a bag of rice will be 60,000 naira. That is 2 months minimum wage. There's no way any country. What we are going through today is cumulative effect of leadership failure. With that, we are now about to pick a new leadership, and we must go beyond all those considerations of yesterday and think about the future of this country. And we cannot do it without you on the driving seat. We need to make a law. And that is one thing I want you to take from me.
Well, that's Peter Obi right there talking about some achievements and during his own tenure as a governor. Well, among those who were present there, we apologize for the audio of the vice president candidate of All Progressive Congress, Kasim Shettima. It was not clear enough. But for those other people that were there, we had candidates of Young Progressive Party. Ado Ibrahim Abdul Malik was also there, and he made his point saying that Women Project is a project for the great country Nigeria, as women make up half of the country's population. You know, and among other people that were also there, Action Alliance presidential candidates Almaz Al-Mustafa was also there, and the candidate of Social Democratic Party, that is SDP, Prince Adewale Adebayo was also there, talking about many other persons that were there. But let's look at it. Let's bring it down to the politics and the politicking, and of course the speech and the speeches and the promises that our politicians have been making here and there. Campaigns have started. I have my guest in the studio with me, still right here. I'm talking about Comrade Austin Osage. You listened to some of those things. In fact, you followed it up from the beginning of the program today, and you want to pick one, two things in the whole scenario that you saw. Are we bringing the issues that matter, issue-based politics and the conversation in this campaign season?
Trying to analyze it too, yes. I was even trying to analyze it yesterday to somebody, and my point was that whether we like it or not, as a country, where are we heading to? The reason why INEC has not been, they delay the time for the campaign is for every political party to be prepared. I'm not saying that prepared. Maybe one or two candidates are the one telling us a little bit what they intend to do.
Well, for people,
about you telling us, because if you are presenting a manifesto and somebody is helping you to be reading your, or you are coming here to be reading your manifesto, that in school, when we are doing school politics, no school politics there. The manifesto there is that as a maybe as a presidential candidate or as a senatorial candidate, whatever you are contesting in school there, because the students will want to sit in a big hall at the university level, want to hear you, want to listen to you.
The plans.
Yeah, because you cannot send somebody to be telling people your plans. Whatever we have discussed here as a friend, or we have discussed here as a party, or we have discussed here as an analyst here, if you are hearing from me, tomorrow you can hold me responsible for what I said. You cannot hold somebody responsible for what he said on my behalf, because I can deny it. I can tell somebody that actually I didn't send you to go and say this is about me. But institutional by, you are saying you want to put yourself forward for elective position. This is not that probably they are appointing you now. Because for somebody to have appointed you, the person might be aware of your capacity. We are saying that you want to put yourself forward for election, and you are sending somebody to come and be talking on your behalf. Does that make any sense to a country? So yesterday, I saw it that for those political parties that are supposed to be, if it's in a serious country, nobody, okay, when we were in university, I could remember there was a time in university I was contesting for president in university. Imagine I was not sending my friend to go and speak for me. It doesn't make any sense. Even you speaking alone, people will be able to bring one or two things.
But some people will say school politics is actually different from
see,
the major politics in our country.
We will say it's different. You know why it's not different? Because the advantage we had then is that school politics or those activities, they don't even put in school politics. Let me say outside politics. Probably, at least I'm a youth leader, I'm a former youth leader of a community and all that. The issue is that when I was coming out to contest for the community president, a youth president, I'm not coming out to say I'm sending somebody based on I have the capacity. No.
But they are together on the ticket. If you're sending probably one of them,
wait.
Because I want us to really
get my point.
Yes.
They are not together on any ticket. He picks the person. He's not. He's different. You are the okay. Is the person they are contesting now? The person is sending now. Is it the person that is actually they voted for at the primary election? The answer is no.
But
no.
Okay.
Get the issue.
Let me get the point.
The point is this: whoever that is contesting as the president is the owner of that ticket. If the person that he picked become that's why they call it joint ticket. The main owner of the ticket is the man that run the primary election. And I'm sure when he was running the primary election, he was not sending people to go and be talking for him. He was the one that goes to talk to his party men to vote for him. Now, he has won the party ticket. You are not sending somebody you now picked now. The person is now going to a very important occasion whereby you can showcase yourself. Ability for you, because the essence of that occasion is for you to come and tell people. It's an advantage. I could remember when I was running one. Thank God I went to that that manifesto organized by some people, because it was there that people now say, no, this guy is like, this guy can be our leader. Many people don't know me. Many people have not even met me. They are meeting me for the first time there. And probably maybe what I said that day, they were convinced.
So do you believe with this kind, because we saw the likes of, candidate from SDP, from AA,
no, let me give it,
from
that's where I'm going. Okay. Where I'm going is that for some candidates that came there yesterday, because some other programs are coming, like today, I think medical NMA have a program today or not. There are many subsequent programs.
So it's a platform for everybody to...
It's a platform for you, because whether you like it or not, Nigeria of yesterday is not the Nigeria of today. Probably you think you could just go and stand on it. Yes, it might happen, but we are getting out of that. Where you think you can just go and stay at the polling unit and be sharing money for people. No.
But there's still vote buying anyway.
I said we have not got out of that. What I'm saying is that we are getting enlightened every day.
Okay.
So going forward, for political parties that are serious and they want to present themselves being serious, there is no need of you sending somebody. Okay, look at yesterday's program. For purely women. What day before yesterday on Monday? Women, there's a women group that threatened that they are going to boycott election if their stand is not being known to them. Now, yesterday, women organized a program where everybody have an advantage to come and showcase. This is not you are not sending somebody that is. Some of them are sending their deputy that even say talking off point. Are you getting me now? Off point. If you are making a reference to some country of maybe probably is those country practicing what they are doing? The issue is this. Like, let me give an example of SDP presidential candidate, Prince Adewale Adebayo. He said something that if you actually listen to that program, now you are not being biased, you'll be able to pick some things. That today, his own company today, his own company that is floated today, that is doing well because the people that are running those companies are purely women. Are women with qualification. Mind you, my brother, today, you see today in Nigeria, there's something that I tell people that they didn't take note. Many women that are doing well today, they are actually educated. Are you getting me now? You see women that probably maybe is the CEO of a bank or this, go and check their track record or go and check their educational background. You will see that there is no problem. Come to men that are doing well. You see some men probably maybe they bought certificate, they are even primary school, secondary school are even questionable. You hardly see women in a position of authority today that the women did not merit it.
Well, this is just one of these events.
That's all I'm saying.
That is focused.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That.
Women.
So whether we like going forward, whether we like it or not, any presidential candidate, this is a platform. This is an opportunity for you to come and engage Nigerians and tell us your plan. What are the plans you have for children? What are the plans you have for what do you call it? Some women program like childbirth prevention of childbirth, this mortality, and some other program. That these are the programs I have for you, or this is what I'm going to do. Because if you are sending your deputy to come and be telling us what you do, where you are the one that will be taking the decision tomorrow, and tomorrow they want to hold you for that promises, you say no, I'm not the actual one that made
my question would just be because as you're talking, I'm trying to wrap my head around everything, and what we want to ask, what exactly will be the function of the campaign committees or campaign, the directors of campaign council committee here and there? What will be their function if your presidential candidate is expected to be everywhere to talk about this?
See, when you see campaign committee or no campaign committee are to organize campaign program.
You think that's just all?
No, that is just all.
What about media appearances? What about events?
When you say media, get my point. There are some other programs like, okay, you can't tell a candidate to be on this kind of program every time. This is a program whereby millions of Nigerians are listening to us. So you can't tell all the candidates to be here. But what we are saying is that those party campaign committee and all that can go for all this, going on radio programs and all, probably sensitize you and all that. But we are saying that a program that the party, the main candidate need to show, because there are some promises you are making. Some parties sometimes ago, be it PDP or APC, have made some promises before now. That today, those promises are not being fulfilled. Some of them are even telling you that, okay, we want to work on what you are working on, what you have even told us before, that you have not done anything. And now you are, so now, some of them are not shifting goalposts. Actually, okay, he was just saying it on behalf of the party. He is not the one that is there now. So are you not going to tell me today again now? If you want to take yourself out of the main issue. Some of them are telling us that the promises made some years ago, those promises, actually the person that made the promises was not even the one that was there. But this time around, if he's there, okay, if he's there now, you now coming again to be making promises on his behalf, that tomorrow he will not tell you, actually I'm not the one that, so are we making progress? The answer is no.
So issue-based conversation now, are we really doing well as a country?
We are not doing well.
Expectations from political candidates?
I don't know.
I mean parties.
I don't know. Probably maybe some of them, probably they are watching this program and other programs.
They do.
That people are now talking to them. Is that to me, I've not seen us making any progress.
So what are the issue-based conversation you expect?
Good. The issue-based conversation we expect is that don't tell us the problem. Are you getting me now? Show us, probably you know how to tackle the problem.
How do you want?
I don't want to solve the problem. Look at the UK Prime Minister. Just the Prime Minister is telling you that, okay, first thing I will do, we'll take from the tax plan and see how we can, from what we are generating, that is from our revenue now, we are going to take out of it and see how we can use it to eliminate, to reduce the challenges you are having now. That is a statement, because he was in charge of treasury before. So somebody telling you, that means he has an idea of, okay, how the revenue and all that, the tax, the major revenue in UK is the tax. Now he's telling you that, okay, don't worry, part of our tax system, we are seeing how we can. These are plans. Tomorrow, if he's not doing it, you can see, because that is why they are conservative people, that people hold them responsible. But in Nigeria today, you are telling us how one woman died in the river. What concerns us with those ones? To me now, as a citizen, as a Nigerian, or as a citizen, or as somebody that follow their activities, or somebody that I believe that my life should be better than what I'm having now. You can't be telling me that, whether we like it or not, that one woman died in the river, or you dash one woman one carton of Indomie. What concerns me with that? What plan do you have to take us out of this mess we are? Because we are in a serious mess. As a country today, do you know how many families are not feeling well? Look at border closure policy that this government brought in. It's a sham. Because today, foreign rice and local rice now almost the same price. Imagine in Nigeria today, somebody will tell you that they're going to sell a local rice that nobody was buying before. A 40,000 naira. Now what they are doing is that those countries that want to bring those rice in, since you couldn't bring the rice in, they are just rebagging it in Nigerian local bag.
No, but,
so now,
but for this present administration, they will tell you that it's a great achievement.
See,
because
you
you
can tell me it's an achievement. Well,
but is it an achievement?
It's not an achievement. How many people have seen it? You are not telling my brother. The minimum wage in
Nigeria,
we
are the largest producers of rice in Africa as we speak right now.
The largest producer of rice in Africa, how has that impact? You know, this is what we are saying now. We are not just talking as someone that's speaking English now. Do you go to street and ask people, can they afford to buy the rice? Is
a bag of rice, we know how much a bag of
me today, those people they call farmer and all that today, go to their state, ask them what are the impact of the money. The answer is zero. As a government, I'm not criticizing the government, but as a government, you can come and tell us anything. Any sense to anybody? The answer is no. So as a government, you can come. Yes, you have done. Have you seen any government that comes and said they have not done anything? I was listening to the wife of the president last week when she was saying that, well, to them, they have tried their best, but they believe they have disappointed people. They have disappointed millions of Nigeria. That is just the basic fact. Candidate of those that are coming for the election, because it is a big election now. You are talking about over 200 million in Nigeria. You are going to be putting them. Okay, do you know if nothing is being done between now and February next year, rice will be over 70,000. Minimum wage is 30,000 naira. That means if you are a family man that have only 1 or 2 children, let's say you have only 1 child, with 30,000 naira, if your minimum wage is 30,000, you cannot even buy a bag of rice. You can't even buy a quarter of rice. It's the only rice you are going to eat. You don't buy food. So the problem, and you are telling me there's not going to be corruption. Yes, whether you like it or not, corruption will be everywhere. Whether we like it or not, for me to submit my argument, is that a presidential candidate should stop sending people. Come on your own. Tell us your plan. And tell Nigeria, hold me responsible if I didn't perform. Because look at trust. Trust comes, at least trust say, come. What my plan for the first 1 month, for the first 2 months, she spent only for 45 days. And she said she couldn't go forward because all what she planned she'd be able to achieve before that time, she couldn't achieve it. And she stepped down. So we don't want somebody that probably you'll be telling us stories today.
I just want to ask this, just as you speak, do you expect probably in our country Nigeria, do you expect any person to step down if the performance is not effective?
Even if you step down,
expecting?
Yes, because if you step down in Nigeria, let me tell you, history will never forget you. Yar'Adua spent there's some little policy. Yar'Adua have not just come to be like a messiah, but there are some little policy. For instance, now look at Niger Delta dead. If not for Yar'Adua intervention,
we had Kemi Adeosun actually left office.
Kemi Adeosun that they tactically push out. They tactically push out. Tomorrow, I'm telling you today on this program, you might play it maybe in the future. Kemi Adeosun, you see that they tactically push out today. Tomorrow you go and see her doing well in the entire globe.
She's actually doing well.
I'm just giving you an example now. You might not even have that story today. They tactically push it out probably maybe just to appoint some people that are of their own. But today, just watch. You see Kemi Adeosun, is Okonjo-Iweala not doing well? That woman at the UN, is she not doing well? So that is so like yesterday program, I see it as the best opportunity. I get it, except maybe other one will come as the best opportunity for men to come and tell us this is their plan. Look at Prince Adewale, as I said yesterday. He analyzed some points, some programs which he believed, if being elected as a Nigerian president, you can do. Woman can do this, woman can do this. Do you know how many women are doing well? That lady that at the conservative party, that Kemi, is her name Kemi?
Yes, the Nigerian.
That Nigerian.
Yes.
At the UK, it was shortlisted. So for it to have been shortlisted at that place, are you telling me that if that kind of person be given every free hand to work in Nigeria today, they will turn something? So what we are saying is this: these are women program. There are some other male program too that are coming tomorrow. So I urge or enjoin the candidates that are running for the president of Nigeria to come and sell themselves. Not only telling us the problem, how we had the problem, how we started. Tell us we are in a mess now. We are in a problem now. How do we get out of this problem? So that at the end of the day, we'll be able to now pick the one we believe they make sense to us. Not one person, not two person, Nigerian at large.
All right, I just want to give some few statistics now. Well, with some researches and some facts that have been sent to us recently, according to campaign strategy across media types by the Pan-African, which is organized in Nigeria. Yeah? They've proven that well, there are 3 stages of campaign that many politicians do use now to address Nigerians. One is the attacks, their claims, and of course the defense. Now, for the attacks, it's proven that much of the attack has been done on the Facebook and less of them on the social media, on newspaper, and of course more on the Twitter. While the defense, I mean their claims, just a few little is been done on Facebook, and of course more on the newspaper, and of course more on the Twitter. And the defense has been across board. More has been done on the Twitter, while little has been done on the newspaper, and of course the Facebook, of course little has been done there. There was a speech by the governor of Edo State, Governor Obaseki, trying to address Nigerians, and of course he talked about what most politicians and what Nigerians should talk about or be scared of. He mentioned that if Nigerians do vote for the ruling party APC, that Nigeria will break. And part of his speech again, he also talked about the obedience that they are going to definitely gas out when the period of elections do come up. But we'll take just a little of his conversation, then we'll come back, then we'll also talk about the attack, the claim, and the defense, as we'll talk about the basis and of course issue-based conversation on the political space on this program. Stay with us, please.
And of course, later will be, but they will run out of steam. We know how to manage elections. How many people have been able to do what we're doing? They can't even form their campaign council, not to talk about having a timetable for elections. You get it? So this election is ours to lose, and by the grace of God, we will not lose it.
Well, issue-based conversation, Obaseki right there. Let me have your reaction. A lot of things that he mentioned, the obedience will definitely gas out. They will not have enough time, of course. Then he talked about the ruling party, the APC, that anybody that votes Nigeria will break for that, or Nigeria will fail for that. He also talked about Atiku Abubakar as the best candidate. So, are we talking about issue-based?
That's what we are saying. He's my governor. And if you listen to what he said, I don't expect him to say less than that. He's a PDP member. He's in PDP. He's campaigning for his it's not his position to tell people who will gas out or who will not gas out. To me, I saw it as a kind of he's been afraid of probably maybe the obedient movement in Edo State. Because if you look at the obedient movement, probably where they are making much waste, probably in Edo, Delta, South, and Southeast generally.
Well, part of his own movement, he stopped APC from campaigning with people.
That's what I want to say, that he is saying today he should not vote for somebody. But the same him, when he was in PDP just 2 years ago, when he was in APC 2 years ago, he was calling the same PDP devil party. Are you getting me now? When he was just him now, last year, just 2 years ago, in 2020, him too was calling the same PDP. In 2019, he campaigned against the same PDP today. What has changed? It's the same Atiku that was a candidate in PDP in 2019. He campaigned against the same Atiku, calling Atiku all sort of name. What has Atiku done for him? What has changed now? That Atiku has now become a saint. I'm not saying that. As my governor, he has a right, he has everything to campaign for his party, which is doing well for them. But as for the governor, it's not for him to be telling you or to be telling us who and who will gas out. Gas out where? Other people will tell them too that they too will gas out as time goes on. I'm not campaigning for anybody, or I'm just analyzing that. You don't have any right to say they should not vote for anybody. As you are campaigning for your candidate, other people too will campaign for their candidate. Then, after the election, it will show. So the issue is this. Assuming, I will not comment on this. If he was a governor that probably maybe all his life has been in PDP, and probably maybe was in PDP when PDP was in power, and he has seen what they have done, and now this is a man that was in PDP. He was in APC 2 years ago. In 2019, the same article he's saying today that he's coming to Unifa. He campaigned against the same article. He said all sorts of things against article 2 years ago, 3 years ago. 3 years ago when he was campaigning for APC.
So you think politicians do not have character, or they don't?
See, there are many like that. It's not to, my own opinion now. It's not for him to tell who and who. But to me, he's not doing a bad thing by saying they should vote for his party, which every party man would do, to say vote for my party are the best. But to say one party will gas out somebody, to me, if you ask me, I don't take to that. So whether we like it or not, he should campaign for his party. Let other people campaign for their own party.
Well, as we wrap up completely, well, definitely Nigerians are watching, and of course a lot of people want to get few things. What are the things you feel as we plan for voting and electing the right persons into the right positions? What are the things Nigerians should expect, and what are the things they should watch for, and what are the things they should hold on to take account, make them accountable for?
Yes, number one, as going for this election, because I see this election as a very critical election that's going to determine many things. It's going to determine our fate as a country. It's going to determine many things that is going to even determine our existence as a Nigeria, as a country. I want to believe that. I want to talk to my own constituency now, the youth constituency, for us to see it as our last hope. Our last hope. Because just imagine 2 days ago, UK Prime Minister is 42 years old.
46.
42 years old. He was born 1980.
46.
No, 42. He was born 1980. If you see him today, are we not going to be proud? How old was Obama? How old is Obama when Obama became a president in America? He's in 40s. Like become a president of America. Not even a white. Somebody of a Kenyan origin. So this one is of India origin. So for my youth, because the youth make the higher percentage number of voters in Nigeria. So I want to enjoin the youth. It's not only us making noise on this platform, making noise on social media, making noise on Facebook, making noise on Twitter and all that. No, there's no vote. Vote is not count on Twitter. Vote is not count on Facebook. It's not count on Instagram. It's not count on TikTok. Vote count on the polling unit. Ensure you get your PVC, and let's make sure we do the normal change. I'm going to the politician now. Politicians should tell us their plans, because whether we like it or not, whoever you want to elect, you will definitely elect one person. One person will definitely emerge out of all this. Politicians should make sure, going forward, they are telling us the solution. We are tired of telling us the problem, because it has been the problem. Because if you look at the Nigerian politics and the way of going about it, everybody just want to use an advantage of disadvantage of somebody, probably to be using it. And when they now come, they will be able to do anything. They will be probably blaming past government. And of course, I don't want, if going this way they are going now, you will discover that whoever that comes later, if it's not the APC that won the election, you see, we will now be putting blames on the. So please, we want to hold you by your word that 4 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, you told us this. And we're going to play, because now we are in a very serious digital world, whereby social media is everywhere. Whatever you say today, people will hold you responsible. We want to see that all those interviews, everything they are going to, the program they are going, we are taking those records and we are keeping it in our. To play well for, because we might even now going to stage a protest whereby you are going to tell you to leave the office because you promised all this. We are going to take you after probably give you 6 months or 1 year. If nothing you told us you are going to do and we see it, then we have no option but to go back go back to the street and be ensuring that you leave that place and that person comes in.
Well, a very, very great conversation. Thank you so much, Comrade Austin Osage, for being part of the
Thank you for
conversation
having me
today.
too.
Well, because of time, we will have loved to take more, but that's the package today. Like we always tell you, we keep reminding you, when you play your part, we play our part, we have a better place called the Federal Republic of Nigeria. On behalf of everyone that's been part of the production today, we say thank you so much. My name is Ayobami Adeyemo. Join us again tomorrow. God bless you. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Goodbye.
Tell you for a fact that this election is between.
They sold farm recently for 100 million.
There's no meaningful development that can happen without peace, without us being united.
Arrest all unregistered vehicles.
I think we have shown the depth and breadth of talent in our Conservative Party.
Because you want to prevent a situation whereby that powdery substance will be flushed immediately.